Hey everybody, Diecast Construction Expert today, coming to bring you all a basically a little how-to on basically how I went about making brush guards for this little D6, not so very good one over here on the 963, and I made one also for my 336E. Basically, I'm just going to start out by showing you all some of the supplies. For the D6, since I wanted that to be a little thicker, I used just, wire coat hanger. It's, about the right, thickness for a model in 1/50th scale, if we could zoom in here. The only downside to using a wire hanger is it's a good bit harder to bend to the right shape that you want versus just like some 18 gauge wire, which I can just move really easily. But since this is requiring something that's a bit thicker, you kind of have to do what you have to do. So that's that's what you need for that. For the 963, I used the 18 gauge wire, and for the 336, I don't know why I'm having such focus issues. It's nothing new though, I guess. Because I just didn't want it to be looking really bulky on these. You really don't even see guards like this on excavators, and because of that, I couldn't even shape the wire from the coat hanger into this, even if I really wanted to, unless I had a lot of tools and everything like that. But 18 gauge wire, you can just make just about any shape you want to out of that. So that's why I went ahead and decided to use that on these. I also got this from Walmart. It's I don't even. There we go. Yep, 3 yards for $1. 18 gauge. I mean, they have all sorts of different colors, but black is the standard, for lack of a better term. Put the wire hanger back there for now. And then you just need some sort of snipping device. Some linesman's pliers or just some regular old little snips like this will do fine. And I don't have any glue that I used, but the one that I would highly recommend, it comes in a really small, it's only about that tall of a tube. It's got like gel control written on it by Loctite, and you can kind of squeeze it from the sides, and that squeezes it out for you. That for me has been the best in terms of you don't have to hold a piece of metal there for like a minute on end to get it to hold. You can just kind of hold it there for like about 10 seconds, and then let go, and it hardens up pretty nicely. I don't think I used it on this one or this one, but I used it on pretty much every other one. And then there is one better that you have to mix together that's got like 3,800 psi bond strength, which that will just hold anything. You won't ever be able to get it off probably. That does take a while longer to set, but I mean, you would never have to worry about it coming off. I'm going to get to that a little bit later whenever we talk about the D6. But just to kind of give you all, let's see if we can get this focused in properly. I kind of wanted to show you all what not to do first before I get into showing you what to do. Here you can see this bar right here is on top of the actual down sweeps themselves. That is not what you want to do, ideally. This was the first one I've ever done, and I was just kind of, I don't know, I guess you could say experimenting. But what I should have done is, you can see how it's a good bit sticking out on that end, and it's a little bit over here too, but I should have just trimmed ever so slightly off of this end, and you know, just keep working your way down until it will actually fit in between these two, where it, you know, will be flush and even. And then once you have it to where it'll fit in there nice, you know, you don't want it to be loose at all. You'd like for it to ideally to be nice and snug, fitting in between there. I know it's going to be hard and it's going to take a lot of you know, small cuts, which, you know, are a little bit easier said than done. Oh, come on now. Whenever it comes to you know, cutting little bits of wire like that, but and then once you have it, you know, cut to the right size and everything, you're going to want to dip both sides, you know, squirt a little bit of glue on there, or just put a little bit on the down sweeps themselves, and then you'd ideally like to insert it in between the sweeps and just hold it for a little while, and it should hold. Struggling to zoom here. Everything I film is on my cell phone, so it's not quite as easy as I would like for it to be sometimes, but come on now. This one, since I can't even zoom in on it, I had it all glued properly with the gel control glue, but then one day this was sitting in the front seat of my car, and I threw a shoe from the back of my truck in the car, not even thinking, hit the model and just basically blew it all off. So it was a pain in the ass to try to glue everything back together because I didn't have the right glue, and you can kind of see there where I got, come on, I got a little bit of a drip going on there, and it doesn't look as clean as it could overall, but I'm still wanting to try to show you all. Well, it's not quite as easy as I was hoping it would be, but you can kind of see where I'm talking about, where this inner cross section would be inside of the sweeps. You know, it just makes it look a little bit cleaner, and you know, the more realistic the better, usually, clearly. You know, I had this thing looking really good, and then it, like I said, it kind of flew apart, and now it looks a little bit like I put too much super glue on it, because I did. But in order to bring it back to the original shape it was in, it kind of required a lot of glue, but it's alright. I think it looks good still. This one, on the other hand, this one took quite a few hours to do. Let's see if we can get this out of the way. Basically, you know, it just took a lot of, you know, taking this is one solid piece going all the way down and up and around here, so, you know, it definitely took a lot of bending, and, you know, as you can see, everything isn't perfectly level or, you know, perfectly symmetrical by any means, but you can see where, I mean, it is a pretty intricate design. Up here you can see where I brought it up a little bit to, you know, cover the exhaust, and could be a little bit more added to it, but you get the general idea. And this one also is probably a little bit easier to see, where I was, you know, actually inserting the cross beam right here on the inside to make it, you know, like I said, look a little bit more flush, and you know, just cleans it up, makes it look a little bit more realistic. I would, you know, go over, I guess, you know, well, I can't really do a true how-to and actually put something on, because I don't really have any glue, like I said, but you know, it's definitely, you know, gonna take a little bit of time. You know, if you have the 18 gauge wire, then, you know, it's gonna be a lot easier, and you can pretty much shape, for the most part, whatever you'd like. But I mean, like I said, this one, you know, after gluing each individual piece on, cutting each piece, bending each piece, double checking to see if it's at least remotely you know, the right shape and everything like that, and then everything, it does take some time. So I mean, don't think this is going to be like a 30-minute project by any means. You know, in terms of like this one though, I mean, this one, you know, this one could be done pretty easily. This was more of a 30-minute project. And you know, like I said, this one, you know, is definitely not the best work, but you know, definitely, you know, it adds to the model regardless. You know, I wouldn't necessarily take this all apart and do it all over again if I had the choice. I mean, it would be nice, but you know, I like it kind of the way it is, and you know, that's the way I feel about pretty much all of my models. You know, it's your models, unless you plan on keeping them perfectly new and you know, not doing anything to them at all, and you know, that's cool too. But you know, I don't really plan on trying to sell these to anybody else that, you know, is going to want them in perfect condition or anything like that. These are, you know, my models, and you know, it's more of a, you know, a hobby, more of a hobby over collecting, I guess you could say. I mean, it's definitely both. But you know, it's definitely nice to make your stuff look a little bit different from what everybody else has, in my opinion. Some people like the stock look, and I can definitely respect that on a lot of models. I mean, pretty much, I don't know, I think 20% of my models are stock. But anyways, this really isn't that hard to do, guys. Just takes a little bit of time and patience, and so on and so forth. But I guess one little tip to give you is always, whenever you are cutting these cross members here, or any other piece for that matter, it's always better to have your measurements too long, and then you can cut it down and trim it down to what you need, than have it be too short, and then you have to, you know, get rid of whatever you just cut, and then, you know, start over again, basically. That's definitely something you want to keep in mind, because I mean, you know, this does look like a good, I mean, it is 3 yards of wire, but this, you know, model right here, after trimming bits off and just, you know, little mess ups here and there, I mean, it took well over half the roll of that. So definitely, like I said, to help, you know, conserve the amount of wire that you have, definitely make sure that you overestimate your lengths rather than underestimate. It'll definitely save you a little bit of time, and maybe even a few bucks here in just buying the material if you do. But anyways, I hope this helped y'all. I wish I could have, you know, had some glue and kind of shown y'all exactly how to do it, but I think you all are gonna get the idea. It's pretty straightforward. And then, you know, if y'all have any questions at all or anything, you can always ask in the comments, or find me on my Instagram page, or anything like that. But like I said, guys, I hope that this review / how-to, well, I really need to get my camera game going. I really hope this helped some of y'all out, though. And like I said, if y'all have any questions, leave them down below. Please like all the videos that you see. I would very much appreciate it, and don't forget to subscribe. Follow me on Instagram, Diecast Construction Expert. And yeah, that's going to do it for today, y'all. Hope y'all are having a good day, and we'll see y'all next time.